Okay, so I spent the last 10 years reading 45 different books about money. And I even took detailed notes to every single book, and I reread the best books multiple times. And after all that time and research, I have realized that there are only 5 key lessons that have really moved the needle for me when it comes to building wealth. So in this video, I'm going to break down these 5 life-changing lessons that I have learned and that have really transformed my life. And I truly believe that these 5 lessons has the potential to transform your financial life as well. And with that said, let us get started with the first lesson of today's video. Lesson number 1. Stop trading time for money. When I read this book, The Millionaire Fastlane, for the first time, it completely transformed the way I look at money and savings and retirement and financial independence and financial freedom. What I really like about this book is how it challenges the traditional idea of working really hard for 40 years while you're saving up for your retirement and kind of like you're waiting your whole life to enjoy yourself and to get the experiences that you really want to have in life. And one of the core messages from this book is that if you do the same as everyone else, you will get the same as everyone else. If you do what everyone else is doing, you will have a mediocre life. And the problem with betting on the slow lane is that if you work for a big company, your boss's most important job is to make sure that he pays you as little as possible without you quitting your job and losing motivation. So you will essentially waste decades of your life working at a big corporation, and the only thing that you will really be doing is that you will be making the owner of this company really wealthy, and in reality you will be retired when you're maybe 70 with a modest amount of money in your bank account. And I think that you and I can agree that this is not the optimal way of doing things. I know that this is not what I want for my life. This is not my big dream. I want to have money and have freedom and have independence and opportunities while I'm still young and healthy and vibrant and energetic. I want to make money faster, and I don't want to waste my whole life working at a big corporation. I want to get as many good experiences as possible while I'm still young. Lesson number 2, live like no one else. Okay, so one of my favorite quotes of all time comes from this book, The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. If you will live like nobody else, later you can live like nobody else. And this simply means that if you don't want a mediocre life, a life like the one everyone else around you is living, you have to be willing to do things differently. So take me, for example. I read this book 8 years ago, and now I'm 36 years old, and I still live in a small and modest apartment. I rent the apartment to make sure that I stay debt-free. I also bought my Tesla Model Y without taking any loans. I paid for it in cash, and I just spend less than I make. I save and invest the difference, and this is very different from most other people around me. My friends and family definitely don't do the same, but I am pretty confident that because I do these things now, I will be able to do things differently later on. And I know that my life might seem a bit boring or maybe even look poor to my friends and family and co-workers and just other people around me who are, upgrading their houses to bigger houses and upgrading their cars to even bigger cars. But it's all financed with debt, and yeah, I don't really want that. I feel like because I'm debt free and because I live below my means, I have a lot of financial security and I have a lot of freedom and flexibility, and I just feel very comfortable in this situation right now, and I would rather have what I have than I would have a bigger home and a fancier car. And Dave Ramsey, he is very much against debt in this book. He says that the only debt that you should ever allow yourself to take on is a mortgage on your house. And he says that, and I think he's right, that all debt is just overconsumption of things that you cannot afford. And when times get tough, and they always get tough, it's been a while since they were tough last time, but one day they will be tough again. There will be a lot of financial lives that will be destroyed because of overconsumption and because of debt. Lesson number 3, optimize for experiences. Okay, so this book, Die with Zero by Bill Perkins, completely changed the way I see the balance between saving and investing for some day in the future, but also living your life in the moment right now and getting good experiences and dying without having any regrets. So the core idea from this book is that you have done something completely wrong if you die with a lot of money left in your bank account. It is such a waste to leave behind a huge fortune and then at the same time missing out on the most important experiences that life has to offer. It is so important to get all the good experiences that you can in your life while you are still young and healthy and has the energy to get them. The author of this book says that your life is just the sum of the experiences that you have before you die. And money is nothing more than just a tool that can help you buy meaningful experiences and that can also help you buy freedom and independence. So after reading this book, I decided to just prioritize spending money on incredible experiences and traveling and stuff like that as much as possible now while I'm still young and I have the energy and the health to do such things. And that is basically the main lesson from this book, that in most cases, there will never be a better time than right now to experience the things that you really want to experience in this life. So it is very risky to wait until a later day to have your dreams fulfilled and have the best and most important experiences in your life. Lesson number 4, money buys freedom. So the highest dividend money pays is freedom and independence. And I learned this from this book, The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. And this book is a complete game changer. What I learned from this book is that financial freedom and financial independence is the ultimate goal when it comes to money. When you have financial freedom and financial independence, you can wake up every day without an alarm clock, and then you can spend the whole day doing exactly what you want with whomever you want for as long as you want, and you never ever in your life have to answer to anyone ever again. And the most important lesson to take away from this book is that every single dollar that you save and invest now will buy you more freedom and independence in the future. Lesson number 5, spend more on the things you love. So the final lesson of today's video comes from this book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. And I really like this book because I feel like this book gave me permission to spend money as long as I did it consciously. So the big idea from this book is that you should spend as much money as you can on the things that genuinely make you happy, and you should cut down on the things that don't. This is the complete opposite of most frugality advice out there. But what the author of this book says is that you shouldn't live a life where you deny yourself everything. You should figure out what it is that really makes you happy, and you should spend money on that. And at the same time, you should also figure out if you are spending money on some things that actually don't bring any value to your life, and then you should stop spending money on that thing. And so for me personally, that means that I spend a lot of money in the health and wellness category of my budget. For example, I have this Whoop subscription, I have 2 gym memberships, I have a sauna membership. When I go to the supermarket, I always buy whole foods and I prioritize protein a lot in my diet. And prioritizing my health and fitness is something that makes me really happy, and I feel like there's a very good return on investment when I spend money in that category. So I have just decided to spend as much money as I can in that category, and I feel very good about it. And yeah, the key message from this book is just that you can actually use money to design a life that you really love, and it doesn't make sense to deny yourself of everything. You should figure out what makes you genuinely happy, and you should figure out what doesn't bring you any value, and then you should spend accordingly to that. So that's it. That's the video of today. These are the 5 lessons that really move the needle for me when it comes to my personal finances. And if you like this video, you will probably also enjoy this video where I share my net worth for the first time here on YouTube, being 35 years old, single, living in a small apartment in Copenhagen. So feel free to check that video out, and see you in the next one.